Friends, let's focus on to another very important case. In this case, in the medical history, patient is having asthma, allergy to aspirin or acetyl salicylic acid. Additional information, while getting treatment, patient started having difficulty in breathing. He became restless and cyanotic and complained of tightness in chest. In this case, patient is having a history of asthma. So guys, you should always remember the signs and symptoms of asthma. The signs and symptoms of emergency that can arise due to asthma is acute asthmatic attack. The signs and symptoms of acute asthmatic attack are: patient may start feeling tachypnea, that is very rapid breathing. He may have pain or pressure or tightness in the chest. Then patient may feel suffocated. He may be having difficulty breathing, or patient may become pale or sweaty or blue or cyanotic. Patient may be having increase in blood pressure, increase in heart rate, that is tachycardia. Patient may be having wheezing. Maybe the patient may be having productive cough. In that case, the chances are that patient is having acute asthmatic attack episode. So in this case, patient was getting treatment. He started feeling difficulty in breathing, that is the patient may be having wheezing. He became restless, which is one of the symptom of acute asthmatic attack. Patient became cyanotic, which is another sign and symptom of acute asthmatic attack, and complained of tightness in chest. These all are examples of signs and symptoms of acute asthmatic attack. In addition to this, in the medical history it was already given asthma. So the conclusion or the diagnosis of this additional information leads us towards acute asthmatic attack. Acute asthmatic attack. Sometimes, in addition to the medical history, in the current medication it is given that patient was using steroid inhaler or salbutamol inhaler as well. And in the additional information, when you get these kind of symptoms, so it becomes easy for you to come to the diagnosis of acute asthmatic attack. Now let's discuss its immediate and appropriate management. Friends, the immediate and appropriate management of acute asthmatic attack is different. In the immediate management, the most important thing is salbutamol. That patients should be given salbutamol inhaler. This is the main treatment for the immediate management of acute asthmatic attack. In the appropriate management, in addition to salbutamol, we will give oxygen. That is salbutamol plus oxygen. The immediate management is salbutamol. The appropriate management is salbutamol plus oxygen. That's why an asthmatic patient is always suggested to bring his or her inhaler while getting the dental treatment. Friends, in case patient does not respond even after 2 puffs of salbutamol, then in that case the appropriate management is call 911 plus oxygen plus epinephrine. Basically what happens is, if a patient is having acute asthmatic attack, so we will first give 1 puff of salbutamol, which is 200 microgram. In case patient does not respond to that, we will give another puff of salbutamol. In case patient does not respond to the second puff of salbutamol, after that we will consider that this thing is not manageable at dental clinic. So we will call 911, we will administer oxygen, and we may administer epinephrine so as to remove the bronchospasm, so that patient can breathe normally. So in that case, this is the appropriate management. But if nothing is given about that patient has exhausted his 2 puffs of salbutamol, in that case, in a normal scenario, the immediate management is salbutamol and the appropriate management is salbutamol plus oxygen. Friends, in addition to these cases, there are few more emergencies that are left to discuss. One of them is thyroid crisis or thyroid storm. Thyroid crisis. If in exam you have to diagnose a case of thyroid crisis, in the history it will always be given that patient is having hyperthyroidism. In the absence of this history, you cannot diagnose thyroid crisis in the emergency. So basically, what are the signs and symptoms of thyroid crisis? It is the increase in blood pressure, palpitations, tremors or shaking. Then patient may be having palpitations or atrial fibrillation. Patient may be having confusion, diarrhea, restlessness, or patient may even become unconscious. Guys, the immediate and appropriate management in case of thyroid crisis is same, which is call 911 plus administer oxygen. So basically, for the thyroid crisis, you have to know the normal signs and symptoms of thyroid crisis, and in the medical history you should always be given hyperthyroidism. Only then you can diagnose the emergency of thyroid crisis, and the immediate and appropriate management are same, which is call 911 and administer oxygen. Another emergency that we have to discuss is adrenal crisis. Adrenal crisis, or the other name for this is Addisonian crisis. Addisonian crisis or acute adrenal deficiency. So guys, deficiency or insufficiency basically. In case a patient is taking external steroids and patient suddenly needs a treatment that involves pain, in that case patient has a tendency to go into acute adrenal insufficiency, or we may call it Addisonian crisis because this is the exaggeration of the Addison's disease, or patient or it may be called adrenal crisis. Same way, in the medical history you will be given that patient was having Addison disease, because in the absence of medical history you cannot go for this diagnosis. There are some signs and symptoms that you need to remember in this case. Examples are nausea, vomiting, pain or cramps in the abdomen or in the legs. Then patient may be having altered consciousness. Patient may feel headache. Patient may feel hypotension and he may go into syncope. Patient may even become unconscious. The treatment or the management, the immediate and appropriate management are same. Immediate and appropriate, because this condition arises since patient does not have sufficient amount of steroids in his body. So the mainstay of the treatment is corticosteroids. Corticosteroids. Plus, since this condition can lead to the death of the patient, so we need to call 911. In addition to these, we need to give oxygen to the patient, plus one more, that is supine position or slightly raise the legs of the patient. Guys, in case the patient is unconscious, then we need to raise the legs of the patient, that is supine position. But in case the patient is conscious, then we will semi-recline the patient. Semi-recline patient. Basically, if you come to a diagnosis of acute adrenal insufficiency, the immediate and appropriate management will be corticosteroids plus call 911 plus oxygen. But if the patient is conscious, then you will go for semi-recline position, and if the patient is unconscious, you will go for supine position. So basically, the above three will always be there. These two will be decided whether the patient is conscious or he is unconscious. Friends, another very important emergency is hypertensive crisis. Hypertensive crisis. Hypertensive crisis is said to occur when a patient is having his blood pressure more than 180 by 120. It is of two types. One is hypertensive urgency and second is hypertensive emergency. In hypertensive urgency, the blood pressure is more than 180 by 120, but there is no accompanying signs of organ damage. But in case of emergency, hypertensive emergency, in addition to blood pressure being more than 180 by 120, there are signs of additional organ damage. The few signs and symptoms are severe headache, shortness of breath or dyspnea, nosebleeds, severe anxiety, chest pain or back pain because of problem in the heart, then numbness or weakness, then change in vision, difficulty speaking, abnormal heart rhythm, fainting, agitation, severe anxiety or abnormal sensations, that is symptom of neurological damage. In case, in the additional information, it is given that is the patient's blood pressure suddenly increases to 180 by 120, but it's not given that patient was having some additional signs and symptoms, then this will be hypertensive urgency. But if in the history it is given that patient was having back pain or chest pain or having unusual sensations, or patient is having difficulty in speaking, or patient is having some kind of numbness or weakness, this is a sign of damage to the organs or neurological damage. In that case, it will be sign of hypertensive emergency. The treatment, that is immediate and appropriate management for hypertensive crisis, whether it is urgency or emergency, it will be call 911 plus oxygen. So guys, when a case of hypertensive crisis is presented to you, in the history it can be given that patient was having sudden severe headache. So severe headache arises in other cases as well, as you might have noticed that in case of cardiovascular accident, cerebrovascular accident, headache is there. So in that case, you need to know the signs and symptoms so as to come to the diagnosis of hypertensive crisis. And moreover, in hypertensive crisis, patient will always be having underlying pathology of hypertension. In cerebrovascular accident, it is possible that patient does not have a history of hypertension, but in case of hypertensive crisis, the history of hypertension will always be there. Friends, this is another very important case. In the medical history, it is not significant. Additional information: while administering local anesthesia, patient complained of headache and sweating, but after a while, patient became normal. So in this case, there are a lot of things to discuss. So guys, while administering local anesthesia, this means patient was being administered local anesthesia. After that, he started having headache and sweating. We need to remember there are certain conditions in which headache can happen. For example, cerebrovascular accident, hypertensive crisis, epinephrine reaction. or epinephrine overdose. So guys, in this case, if it was hypertensive crisis, in the history it should have been given hypertension, which is not here. Then for the cerebrovascular accident, we have other very important signs. For example, dropping of face, or there is paralyzing of extremities like one arm, or there is unilateral paralysis. Then there is difficulty in speech. But in this case, patient initially complained of headache and sweating, but after some time it became normal. Had it been the case of hypertensive crisis or cerebrovascular accident, it could not have become normal on its own. Basically, this is a case of epinephrine overdose. Epinephrine overdose. In the case of epinephrine overdose, the normal signs and symptoms are: patient may complain of throbbing headache, increased blood pressure and heart rate, patient may become restless, he may feel pallor or sweating, dizziness, patient may also feel respiratory difficulty, and patient may feel palpitations. All these things pertain to the epinephrine dosage. But guys, in case of epinephrine overdosage, this is not a very scary condition. In case this was not given, that patient became normal after a while, had patient not become normal or this wasn't given, then immediate and appropriate management is administer oxygen. Just administer oxygen and patient will be fine. But in this case it is given that after a while patient became normal. So now we don't need to do anything. No intervention is necessary. In this case the answer is no intervention necessary. But if this line was not here, that patient became normal, then our answer would have been administer oxygen. So guys, I hope you have learned a lot from today's discussion, and I believe that most of you have already read the signs and symptoms. But my purpose of making this video is because I know that while I was studying, I felt it very difficult in case of emergency and emergency questions, because it is very hard to remember the signs and symptoms. So I have tried to make this thing very easy for you, and I have tried to exemplify it by giving you various examples. I will come back very soon with another very important topic. Till then, please take care of yourself. Keep on watching my videos, and please don't forget to subscribe, share and like my videos. And in case if you need any help, you can email me on my email ID, which is hpsingh127@gmail.com. So friends, till then, take care, bye bye, have a good day.